Yo, what's up, guys? Back for another day of NBA FanDuel or Draftkings stuff. Wow, that was a bad start to the video. So today I'll be going over my lineup for the 4 games tonight. As I said before, I don't love the 4 game slates. It's kind of hard to find someone who's going to be, that guy that's going to make you cash. But I think tonight I actually found a couple guys that might be able to do that for us. So be sure to like and subscribe for more stuff. I will be doing an NFL one later on tonight for tomorrow's games. So I'm really excited about that. I do love a bit more NFL than I do NBA, but I do love the NBA too. So let's get right into it. Actually, before I do, congrats to everyone who cashed last night. We did pretty good, other than Matisse Thybulle, who apparently was hurt and didn't want to tell anybody. I don't know what the deal with that was. I apologize if you played him and ended up not cashing because of it. But D'Angelo Russell had a great night, as you saw, scoring 82 or 83 fantasy points on Draftkings. Also, Karl Anthony Towns, he started slowing it up with about 47, 48. Okaji and what's his name scored pretty good last night also. I'm not going to remember the name right now, so that would be awkward if I just stood here and stared at the camera. So anyway, pretty good night last night for us. The only guy who really didn't perform other than Thybulle was DeAndre Hunter. Kind of had an off night, but with a rookie that's going to happen. You got to take your risks sometimes to play those guys who are low in salary. He had 16 points the night before, so I thought he was going to be able to continue that. Unfortunately not. Didn't see the production out of LeBron. I would have loved to either. I think he did okay. He scored, I think, 35 points or something like that. Not really LeBron numbers though, unfortunately. So hopefully let's have a better night tonight and get some more cash. So my first play is going to be James Harden. If you don't have either James Harden or Russell Westbrook today, you're doing it wrong. These guys are going to score really well against Chicago. They've been scoring all year. James Harden has an average of 58.6 fantasy points per game going against Chicago. It should be a favorable matchup. We'll be on Levine, who isn't a great defender. So I think James Harden will have a pretty good game tonight. I'm guessing probably like a 30 plus, and then 5 plus, 5 plus for him tonight. So it should be a pretty nice night, anywhere between 30 to 50 fantasy points. And obviously, as you saw the other night, could go even higher than that. So I love James Harden tonight. I think that's a really good play. Even though he is 11,800, it's a high price to pay, but I think I found a few guys that are really cheap that I think will be great matchups. Next, his counterpart, Zach LaVine. So I like this head-to-head matchup. I think these guys are going to do a lot of scoring. I don't think they're going to turn it over a ton because neither of them are great on defense. So I think these guys are really capable of scoring. Houston's 30th against shooting guards this year, so that's a really favorable matchup for LaVine. He's been doing a lot of big scoring this year. Price at 7,300, so again a little expensive, but for his scoring, potential, I think that's a really good value for him, especially going against a Houston team that doesn't really play shooting guards very well. Next, this is one of my, kind of surprise picks. Let me try to say his first name. Hamidou Diallo on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I do believe he comes off the bench, but he's been playing 30-plus minutes in the last couple games, so they might even slide him into the starting lineup tonight, going against Golden State, who is 27th in the league against small forwards. So he's been playing really well lately, actually. I was looking at his numbers earlier. In his past 5 games, he scored 20 plus. And not all of these games are 30 plus minutes either. So he's been really productive, and I think OKC might try to slide him in that small forward position for Gallinari, who has been good but not great. So hopefully Diallo gets a shot tonight. So obviously he's not going to start over Shai Alexander or Chris Paul. So hopefully, even if he comes off the bench, I'm really confident he's going to have a really good night. He's been playing a lot of minutes, so I really like this guy tonight. He's only priced at 4,100, so a really nice value, I think, for a guy who scored 20 plus in his last 5 games. His average is 19.8 from early on this season where he didn't play a bunch, but I definitely see Diallo as a really good option tonight. Now back-to-back really good options that are budget beasts. Chandler Hutchinson, so he'll be stepping in for the injured Otto Porter tonight. No one really knows a ton about him. He is a rookie, I believe. He just came off a hamstring injury He's only played 2 games, averaging 12 points per game, but that's off the bench. So I can see him scoring, anywhere between 20 and 25 points tonight if he's continuing on this pace. Obviously, he could go higher or lower than that. It's the NBA, so who knows? Going against Houston, who again, 30th against power forwards. I believe he'll be playing small forward for most of the game, though. Maybe slide him in the power forward when they're playing small ball. But Hutchinson, definitely a really good option tonight at 3,200. So definitely a budget beast for sure. Going up next at my center position, I got Steven Adams. He's a double-double possibility going against Golden State. Willie Cauley-Stein, I'm really not that concerned about him. He's okay at steals, but he mostly gets that off of guards passes, so I'm not really concerned about Steven Adams turning it over too much. Even if he does, I don't think that's a huge penalty in Draftkings. I think 2 turnovers is -1 or something like that. So I really like Steven Adams tonight. I think he could put up like a 10-10 game, 10+ game, not an actual 10-10 game, but maybe it will be a 10 game. I don't know. He's averaging about 25 fantasy points per game. Warriors are right in the middle again, at 15th against centers. He's with the price of only 5,400. I really like Steven Adams tonight. Obviously, he's going to start, so he'll get a lot of minutes, a lot of opportunities to score. Next, looking at the guard position, this guy has been a beast lately. I'm surprised his price hasn't gone up a bit, probably because he's not actually in the starting lineup. Alec Burks for the Golden State Warriors. He's been scoring really well off the bench lately. OKC is 5th against shooting guards, but Alec Burks has been so hot lately that I want to throw him in anyway at 4,500. He's been averaging about 24 fantasy points per game. In his last 3 games, he's gotten 20+. So against Houston, he actually got 47. And that was in 31 minutes, and then he got 34 last night against Timberwolves. So I really like this guy. He's definitely a big scorer. He can get some rebounds as well. So I think Alec Burks is going to be a really nice play tonight. Off of this, my forward position is going to be Danuel House. He's been a constant play for me this year. I found him to be a really nice asset, scoring 25 points per game at 5,200. I think that's a pretty fair price. Going against Chicago, who's 9th against small forwards. But I really do like House as another scoring option in that offense. Obviously, he's not the first one, so not a lot of people think about him. But he's actually scoring 25 fantasy points per game because he does pretty good on the boards, and he scores really well as well. So I like Danuel House as a pretty, I wouldn't call him a budget beast, but I'd say I like his price a lot. So, and then lastly, my Utah left enough salary for Brandon Ingram. He had a pretty good night last night, not his best, but the night before that, he went off. This guy is a really good player. I think moving to New Orleans was the best thing for him. I really like his productiveness this year. So he had 56 points against Brooklyn on the 4th, and then last night he had 41 against the Raptors. I mean, the Raptors were killing them in the first half, and then Brandon Ingram led the charge in the second half, did really well. I didn't actually originally think he did that well, but he actually came back and did really, really nicely. So good for him. And then he had that one weird game against Oakland or OKC where he only played 13 minutes, but I don't think he was actually expected to play in that one because it says his salary was 0. So I'm assuming he was hurt and he played through it and scored 15 anyway. So I mean that's pretty good for 13 minutes. And then before that, he's been right in the mid-30s, low 30s. So I think his floor tonight is about 30. He could score upwards of D'Angelo Russell numbers from last night. We'll see. Not guaranteeing it, but I definitely see him as a possibility going against Charlotte, who is not great defensively against small forwards / power forwards. I really like Brandon Ingram tonight. So hopefully you guys, learned a thing or two tonight. I think this is a really good lineup. I'm actually really confident for it being a 4-game slate. Usually I'm not as confident in it, but this one I feel really good about. So be sure to definitely tail the lineup. Let me know if you did. I'll be putting my Twitter in the description so you guys can follow me for any news, any updates during the game. I was pretty vocal about my displeasure of the lack of communication about Thibault's injury last night because it wasn't on any of the websites that I looked at. But, whatever. Gonna have breaks like that sometimes. So definitely follow me on Twitter. I'll put the link down below. like and subscribe to the channel. Ask me questions in the comments section or reach out to me on Twitter. You can always DM me there as well. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I do have work tonight, so I might not be able to get back right away, but I will do my best to answer everyone's questions before the lineup's locked. And everyone, good luck tonight. Let's get some money.